No evidence that there was an imminent threat.
Nothing that convinces me that there was any imminent threat.
There was no imminent threat.
I've said repeatedly since the first briefing over 10 days ago, there was no imminent threat.
No credible justification for an imminent threat.
Really? Well, a 60 Minutes guest foiling a major Democrat talking point, contending the threat from Iran wasn't imminent. Listen.
Iran has been lying about its nuclear weapons effort for over 20 years now. There's no doubt that the combination of the strikes in June of last year and the ongoing war have seriously set back Iran's capabilities.
UN inspectors believe Iran has close to 1,000 pounds of uranium enriched to 60%, nearly ready to be used in a nuclear weapon. 970 pounds of 60% highly enriched uranium. What can you do with that?
So that is enough material for, if you enrich it just a little bit more, for 10 to 11 nuclear bombs.
Let's welcome former U.S. Army Captain Doug Truax. Doug, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Democrats are saying here and abroad that President Trump messed up that wonderful deal that President Obama cut with Iran, which they claim removed 97% of Iran's enriched uranium. But one thing this conflict has proven is that Iran was enriching uranium all along, while at the same time producing missiles that actually went a lot further than they claim, missiles that can actually reach every major European capital. How can the Democrats stick with these talking points?
Well, they're just dying on that hill that Obama put them on. I think that all of him and his advisors, that's what kicking the can down the road looks like, when you are just basically placating them to try to get them to be quiet for a little while so it can move on to some other administration. And we've all been worried about it for years. We've all known they were liars, constantly lying, and they have no problem murdering all of us if they could. And if they get a nuclear weapon and they set it off in Manhattan or wherever, people are going to say, gosh, well, I wish we would have done something a long time ago. And I think President Trump has had this in his mind for a very long time. We've had 47 years of these guys. And we got to this place, it's like, you know, they've got these missiles now. They've got a lot of enriched uranium. This is a really bad combination. And we're going to take our chances. You know, Midnight Hammer worked. Probably not as much as they'd like it to, and I think a lot of administrations over the years have said, "Gosh, you got to be careful here. Cruise missiles and bombs, and try to tactically take out their nuclear supply because the Iranian military is big." But now we're in a place where it's not as big as it once was, and we got control of their ports. So we definitely have maximum leverage right now. We got to use it.
Well, meanwhile, CENTCOM is enforcing the blockade in the region. The U.S. seized an Iranian-flagged cargo ship after literally blowing a hole in its engine room when it tried to break past the blockade of the strait. Take a look at this.
Any vessel that further intends to enter or exit an Iranian port will be subject to the right of visit and search in accordance with international law. If you attempt to run the blockade, we will compel compliance with force. Over.
Motor vessel Tosca. Motor vessel Tosca. Vacate your engine room. Vacate your engine room. We're prepared to subject you to disabling fire.
Captain, what do you make of the fact that Iran believed it could actually break the U.S. blockade with practically all its weapons, both offensive and defensive, destroyed or impaired?
Yeah, I think they're just delusional. I think some of this, too, is the, who's in charge over there now.
Yeah.
So much of the leadership has been taken out. I bet there's a lot of power struggles and infighting going on. And, this goes back to what we've always thought, especially on the conservative side. We've got the best military of all time. And, a lot of the globalists basically said, well, we can't use it. We got to be very, very careful. And yeah, we got to be careful about it. But when the time comes and the military and the Navy, in this case, can go and do things that people are just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Well, we knew we could do this, and we're going to do this to them until they submit. And then they, open the strait and cooperate and give us that enriched uranium, and we get our national interests fulfilled. We'll be in a better place. But until then, the military is going to do what they do.
Captain Truax, thank you very much for your service. Thank you for being here. Great to see you.
Thanks, David.